So much in between, things we've never seen. You're a mirage that my mind can't see through. Are you here with me? One day we can see. And all my life, unbroken waves, but I know that time makes ways. But I know that time makes ways. And all my life, unbroken ways, but I know that time makes ways. But I know that time makes ways. Yeah, I know that time makes ways. All my life, unbroken ways, but I know that time makes ways. But I know that time makes ways. And will my life be there one day? All I know is frozen waves, but I'm hoping time makes ways. I'm holding on to the image of you, live from far away, information highway. You're a mirage that my mind will cling to. Though you're far away, we can make a way.
STN Racing proudly presents live coverage of the Four Corners Racing League, coming to you tonight from virtual Darlington Raceway in Darlington, South Carolina, for the Bolts Designs Throwback 120 here at Darlington. Glad to have you along for the ride, everybody. Jacob Pitts, Hex Valentine here with you for the call. Zach Johnson, our producer, as always. Got a lot of folks in the field tonight. Unfortunately, one guy that dominated last week at Kansas, Kyle Smalley, well, his wheel bit the dust earlier this afternoon, so he's out of commission. He's on IR. He won't be racing tonight, but we've got a lot of folks from last week that were up at the front that are starting up at the front here tonight. As we run through our starting grid for tonight's race, Calvin Allison, who was so close to winning last week, starts on pole position with Marcus Adams starting from the second spot. Bryson Fitzgerald, last week's winner, starts from the third spot with Chris Worrell on his outside in the sixth machine. We've got a whole bunch of throwback schemes on the track, and we'll go through that as the night goes on. J.R. Houston starts from the fifth spot with Colin Fern lining up to his outside. Robert Rader starts in the seventh spot. Ferris Shaw lines up in eighth. Gavin Hibbs starts from the ninth spot, and Nick Olson rounds out the top 10 here, Hex.
All right, and in the 11, we got James Lowe. Right next to him, Bolts Ramirez at the number 12 spot. 13, Patrick Green. 14th, Derek Lemke. Excuse me, sorry about that. Zach Lindgren in 15th. Michael Dorsey, 16th. And we got Kevin Orlando Jr. 17th. Next to him, Kyle Manger. And then in the 19th, we got Lucas Strayer. And in the 20th, we got Jared Wishon.
In the back of the grid, 21st is Michael Anthony, 22nd, Keith Smalley, 23rd, James Cato, 24th, Michael Anthony, 25th, Casey Heschel, 26th, Anthony Colantuono, 27th is Jesse Cottrell, 28th, Brandon Lawless, 29th, Richard Lekoa, and 30th is Chris Webb. Trying to figure out why iRacing timing in-game is telling me that there are 29 people starting this race, but the starting grid we just ran through had 30.
I'm unsure of that as well.
Okay, well, ATVO says 30. I'm trusting ATVO. I don't know what's up. Pace car's in. Field comes off of turn 3 and 4, and we are just about set to go. Here from Darlington, Calvin Allison, Marcus Adams lead us down to the start. Green flag, we're racing.
And the thing about this track is that any mistake is going to cause a big wreck here. We took the trucks out here last week, and it was almost a nightmare. We think we went under caution.
Speaking of, we got trouble already. Derek Lemke's around. No caution yet or still green. A lot of folks down on the flat trying to get up to speed. As Derek Lemke went for a nice slide through turn 2, James Cato starts from the pit lane. Everybody else, though, is making it around. Coming off turn 4, Calvin Allison in the Ricky Rudd throwback in that 28 machine. He will lead the first lap. Almost said Ricky Craven. That's not quite right. But we're all going to survive after Derek Lemke went for a nice little slide through 1 and 2, as everybody now is strung out in single file pretty much all the way around the racetrack.
Yeah, it wanted to, you can't really take it as hard as you want, especially like right out of the gate. You will get caught slide, but I think what a lot of drivers will struggle here tonight with is the turn into 3 and into 4. Those ones are going to be tight. You got to slow down a whole, not too much, but you will get to a breaking point into 3 and into 4, and there are so many drivers that are just going to smack into that wall. It's really about who's going to be able to keep their arrow straight, keep their car clean tonight if they want to move up positions, because I guarantee we're going to have at least 3 cautions tonight as we round out, and we're about to go into lap 4, my friend.
And Robert Rader just bounced it off the wall, trying to hang on to the fit spot from Chris Worrell. Rader thrown back to I guess Sterling Marlin from 2007 in the waste management machine, and you got Chris Wall right behind him, throwing back to the Best Buy car that Jeff Green drove, the 66 machine from 2006-2007, as well. As this field comes rolling around, it's probably one of the closer battles that we have on the racetrack. A little bit further behind them, it is Colin Fern and Nick Olson. Olsen in the Jeff Gordon throwback scheme. I can't say off the top of my head what the 86 throwback is, if it is one. Don't think it's a throwback, so that's our first driver of shame tonight that didn't do a throwback this weekend, as he moves Olsen up the hill, and he'll make the pass off of 4.
Yeah, I mean, I love a lot of these throwback cars that we got on to the track tonight, but so far we've kept it clean under 6 laps, as I think they have finally found their comfort in these race lines tonight into 1 and 2. The thing is that this track is just so nerve-wracking, especially when you get to the later stages of the track. As you see, 3 and 4, we got almost 2 drivers went into the wall here, trying to master this turn tonight. And, oh, someone's going for a slide. Number 27 car, Orlando Jr., he's holding it. No caution, but he did able to hold it as he goes back down into the apron, trying to get back on the track here.
Yeah, he's crawling in that 27 machine, as has a little bit of right side damage on the back of the car, so definitely not a fun night for him early on, as the battle for the lead is starting to heat up. And as soon as I say that, Calvin Allison has opened the gap up once again. Marcus Adams was closing that gap for the lead. But now Allison has been able to pull away little by little here once again.
Yeah, unfortunately, any small touch on that wall, your car is going to crumple here at Darlington. I'm not too sure exactly what kind of strong wall material they use here, but it is very unforgiving. Any mistake here will cost you. It's just, like I was saying earlier, turn 3 and turn 4 is where we're going to see a lot of problems, especially later down the line here. Look at that. They get really close here. 3 battle position here. Almost 4 battle going into turn 1. I'm glad that they were able to keep it clean and keep it straight as we go back into lap number 9 here. And what are your thoughts tonight, Jake? Were you able to race in Darlington much at all?
No, nor do I have any desire to, but I have seen a lot of racing here, and I can tell you that the grip is absolutely, I think, in the negatives at this track, as Chris Worrell bounced it off the wall in turn 3, gets passed by Zach Lindgren, but is able to keep the car alive. By the way, to answer your question, I'm pretty sure they use concrete to build the walls here, just kind of like every other racetrack, as Marcus Adams is closing in once again on Calvin Allison for the lead. The gap is back under 0.3 of a second.
Yeah, right you are. It is concrete. It just seemed much, much stronger given with how much these cars fold. But I guess that's just the iRacing damage model for you. As we go around turn 3 here, or turn 4, excuse me, as we see the number... Sorry, I'm losing a lot of focus here. 28 car holding it down, trying to keep himself alive here in this race, because the worst thing that can absolutely happen to you here in this track is just any scrape. You lose any aerodynamic, you're going right back into the pack here this track.
Yeah, it really feels like these cars are made out of paper some days with how they react to contact, especially with the outside wall. Really, no matter the racetrack. So, something we will have to keep our eyes on through the afternoon. But it's pretty common for cars to go bouncing off the outside wall. We see it a lot here at Darlington as the leaders are coming through 3 and 4. They will have lap traffic here in a little bit. James Cato, who started from the pit lane, he's running about a second slower than the race leader a lap, so it won't be very long until the leaders have their first bout with lap traffic. No stages. We're going 120 laps until we get a caution. And something else we're going to have to keep in mind is if we can make it far enough, green flag pit stops.
Yeah, those green flag pit stops are going to be very, very challenging. I know a few racers might end up missing their pit entrance just because it just kind of sticks out of nowhere. Like you can lose it instantly on the track here. I mean, that yellow line is so very, very thin, and that cone doesn't really stand out where you're going about 150 miles an hour on this track. But the battle through lap traffic, as they're getting closer and closer to approaching here, as we see Calvin only 1 second behind James, is that a lot of racers will try to give the leader the room, but there's just a lot of spots where they won't be able to go around, especially for through all the turns. They'll only be able to give them the room on the straightaways, if there's any, depending on how condensed this field is. But as we round turn 2 with the leader here, he's got a pretty open field. I'm sure he'll catch up to him under lap 16 or lap 17, but the 29th and 28th of Kevin Jr. and Chris Webb, it's going to be a little bit harder to get through much more condensed traffic.
Bryson Fitzgerald takes second spot away, bounced it off the wall in 3 and 4, but he still got the spot. Marcus Adams pretty much pulled over and gave him the spot going down the back straightaway. So moved Bryson Fitzgerald and the Casey Kane throwback to the second spot as well. Oh boy, got really sideways off of 2. Adams still hanging in there, cannot get there. Fitzgerald will hang on to second as Allison now watches Cato bounce it off the wall. Fitzgerald back into the wall in turn 3, keeps it going straight.
I'm surprised he was able to hold it after bouncing off the wall there. He hit it pretty good, but I mean, it's just a broken record here. All these small mistakes, very, very costly, especially at Darlington. Ooh, he almost gets into the wall there, holds it into the back straight. His number 9 car comes into turn 3 and turn 4. Will he have the move, though, to get... Oh, he hits the wall, but he holds it. Like I was saying earlier, 3 and 4 is where we're going to see a lot of accidents happen tonight. A lot of those mistakes, as we just saw number 9 scrape into the wall, but he's able to hold the position.
Yeah, if anything, that bunched up Marcus Adams behind him, as now here comes J.R. Houston in the Denny Hamlin Xfinity Series throwback. Closing in on Adams. That's for third. Houston had a decent run last week at Kansas, hung in there till the end, till things got very chaotic as James Cato pulls over for the leader, Calvin Allison, so he'll get by without a problem on the main straightaway. Field back in 1.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be one heck of a battle here tonight, as they are just half a second off of each other. It seems like with Bryce is at least a half second behind Marcus Adams as they come into turn 3 here, and you got to be looking for that move under 3 and 4. If you could shave any seconds here, that would be the exact turn to do it, because the way that you take in turn 1 into turn 2, you make a diamond pattern. Like, you get as close to that white line as you can, at base of 5/7 of the throttle, and as soon as you hit that halfway point, you're gassing it as you go. But as we saw earlier, a lot of drivers were missing that line and sliding up and sliding down, hitting that wall. But we'll see here as the race progresses if he could make up any time here. Oh, he taps the wall again. I mean, this wall's going to be taking a lot of people's paints tonight as we go into 21 here.
Nick Olson flies by Zach Lindgren, or hangs on to the spot at least. That's for 6th, with Robert Rader just up the road. And you got a long way to go to get back to Colin Fern, who is behind them. As everybody pretty strung out. Chris Worrell has dropped through the field. He started up inside the top 5, back in the 14th spot now. And looking through the rest of the grid, everything has calmed down a considerable amount as J.R. Houston gets the 3rd spot away from Marcus Adams.
Yeah, he did. He made a nice move just to take that spot away here. Traffic behind him is getting a little bunched up, but not too much here, as we see a nice battle here into the... scrapes the wall again. I mean, we're going to be, like I said, lots of damage here on that 3 and 4 turn tonight, as the 85-53 are battling really hard, trying to move up positions here in Darlington, along with the 24 car behind them. I believe we're going to be seeing green flag pit stops. I mean, they've been holding it well when they've been scraping the walls and bumping off of it. They haven't been sliding their cars all the way through and causing major cautions. We saw a few people hit the apron tonight, but we haven't seen a full spin out yet, so we may be going under green for a lot of these pit stops tonight. We only got 120 laps, and we are under 24 of them right now.
They only have 5 sets of tires in the pits, and they can make it about 50 fuel. Caution's out. Right on cue. Right is... let me see if I can find where this is at. Gavin Hibbs, maybe? No.
86
Let's see.
car.
Right, this was right as Calvin Allison came onto pit road. No. Are you kidding me? My rewind's broken again, of course. All right. So, what do we got? Let's see. That's the 68 of... Oh, goodness. Chris Webb. He got collected with... Oh, gosh. Who is that? Is that... Heschel? Yeah, Casey Heschel. Oh, 68 got the wall, came down the racetrack, nowhere to go for Casey Heschel. His pits are open, and it's lunchtime at the zoo. Everybody is coming onto pit road.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. I'm glad that he was able to push him back forward here and keep him straight and keep him going instead of completely turning him around and bumping into traffic behind him. I believe there's only 3 cars that didn't pit here after this caution.
I count only 1, and Colin Fern stayed out because he pitted right before the caution came out. So he is pretty much on fresh tires. He will get the free pass, I believe, that or he'll wave around. He'll wave around. James Cato will get the free pass. As here is Allison. He wins the race off pit road. Then it's Fitzgerald, Adams, Houston, Lindgren, Rader, Olson, Lowe, Manger. Worrell is your top 10. Then Ramirez, Shaw, Hibbs, Wishin, Dorsey, Colantueno, Lolis, and the rest, as everybody else is still taking service on pit road. Some of them even getting their damage repaired because they've already bounced it off the outside wall a time or two. Under our first caution here at Darlington, 25 laps are complete out of the 120 that make up the distance for tonight's race. A reminder that we are back again next week here for the Four Corner Racing League from Dover. Then we take a week off as these guys go to the Circuit of the Americas, and then we are back in 2 weeks after, we're back at Charlotte after that. 3 weeks from tonight, 2 weeks from our last broadcast next week at Dover.
Yeah, Coda is going to be a very exciting race to watch. I can't wait to see how they handle the road course over there in these cars.
Certainly going to be interesting to watch. It's just you won't be able to see it live. Is all. As Believe we'll get one lap to green this time by, I'm hoping.
I believe they're still single file right now.
Should get one to green this time. Yeah, everybody is single file, and the key will be when the lights go off on the pace car and Colin Fern rather gets waved around the pace car and is able to come around to the back of the field.
We'll see here in just a moment. I believe you are right. I believe we are going one to green here as soon as they cross. I'm watching their lights here.
There goes Fern. So one lap to green here at Darlington before we get back underway. It's Calvin Allison, Bryson Fitzgerald, Marcus Adams, J.R. Houston, Zach Lindgren, your top 5. Then Robert Rader, Nick Olson, James Lowe, Chris Worrell, and Kyle Manger, your top 10.
And then we got Ramirez, Shaw, Hibbs, Wishon, Dorsey, Colanto, and Lewis, Cortell, and excuse me, I'm always struggling with the 38's name here. Lakawa and Cottrell make up the rest of the field tonight.
Alrighty, half a lap to green. The pace car will get ready to make the left-hand turn onto pit road. As it's Allison and Fitzgerald side by side coming to the restart. Allison has led every lap thus far. Bryson Fitzgerald trying to carry the momentum after winning last week at Kansas. They come around. Green flag's back in the air. Fitzgerald bounces off the wall on the main straightaway, and now we're rolling.
Man, I was very surprised to not see another caution after he bounced off that wall as he's able to hold it in there. Glad we're not going back under yellow here as we turn into turn 3 here. As the battle will be a little bit tougher. Back on new tires, I hope a lot of these drivers remember that they will not be able to full slide it here or full power it here as they will slide under these new tires.
Michael Dorsey just saved the heck out of that race car. Threw him back to Kevin Harvick's 2001 season. He was dirt tracking it off turn 4, lost about 5-10 spots in the process, but he's back up to speed in turn 1 and has a clean race car. As here comes Fitzgerald with a big run on Allison headed for turn 3.
Yeah, I'm a little sad that I didn't get to see him save it. That would have been an impressive show to watch. But I'm expecting a little bit more passive driving here, as I'm sure a lot of these drivers have figured out that turn is extremely unforgiving here. I'm sure we'll see a lot more slowdown into turn 3 and into turn 4 as they found out that just the slightest touch here at Darlington is going to be extremely unforgiving.
Fitzgerald trying to set up Allison, but it's still pretty early in the race to be making any dive bomb moves, especially for the lead. We're not even, we actually are now a quarter of the way there. Doesn't mean you can just sling it down in the corner and pray it sticks. It's still Allison and Fitzgerald. Then Houston has a breathing room all around him. Then Marcus Adams. Then Zach Lindgren. That is your top 5. Then it's Olson, Manger, Rader, Ramirez, and Gavin Hibbs, your top 10, as the field comes back through 3 and 4.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see if there will be any moves here, but you were saying it's way too early in the race just to send it on down there and hope for the best here as they come into turn 1 to turn 2. I believe that with the way that the track is set today, it's going to be a lot more closer after that caution with a lot of these drivers staying together in the field here.
Still Allison and Fitzgerald out in front. They have pretty much put a second between themselves and J.R. Houston in the 3rd spot. As Gavin Hibbs is battling Chris Worrell for the 10th spot. Hibbs hanging strong on that outside line. The outside line pretty much is the place to be here at Darlington.
You're absolutely right, my friend. That outside line will be your safest bet, trying to keep your car clean, because that inside line, if you make just the slightest error, you're going into the wall or into the apron. If you go into that apron, you're definitely going to be spinning out as 15 moves out of the way here per whirl as he moves up a position after that move here.
Yeah, Hibbs dirt tracking it off the corner, and that throwback to Stanton Barrett from 2006, a rare gem in a throwback here. You love to see it from Gavin Hibbs. He's got the Adam Petty throwback of Jared Wishin right behind him, with whatever the heck Ferris Shaw is driving the the 84 machine there.
Yeah, these are they come up behind each other. Little bump in the rear here as he bounced it off the wall. I believe that was Shaw and Wishin that got into each other on the straightaway there.
Now here's Worrell underneath Roberto Ramirez. This is for the 8th spot. Ramirez is going to give it up, so Worrell will take that spot as well. Worrell charging his way back up through the field. He dropped back from the top 5 back to 14th before the caution. Now he's on the charge once again.
Yeah, I believe he'll be able to make up those positions here, because if you're fast at Darlington, you know where the line's at. You'll be able to make it past a lot of the more cautious racers here as you try to fight your way back up into your original spot. I believe he will be able to make the moves here.
Trouble back. No, that's front straightaway. It is, oh, come on, Derek Lemke. In the 71, he got around, of course, I can't rewind to go back and look at it, but he got around on the front straightaway. We are still green, single car spin. He'll stay on the flat. Meanwhile, let's go to the conga line here from 3rd on back. Marcus Adams, J.R. Houston, Zach Lindgren, and Nick Olson.
Yeah, I'm not able to rewind either, my friend. I couldn't even tell you what happened there because my rewind button appears to be broken as well. As they go in and out of turn 4 here with the conga line that you were calling out. No racers scraping the wall here as we still have Adams, Houston, and Lindgren battling for the 3rd position tonight. And as
Probably the biggest battle on the racetrack right now between Houston, Adams, Lindgren, and Olson right now.
Excuse me. Yeah, I believe this is probably the closest battle on track here as I'm looking through my my timing screen here. I don't see any cars as close as this one right now at the moment. But it's going to be a good battle to watch here for the top 3 if these drivers can stay together and hold it together with a lot of the errors that has happened on track tonight.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of people wind up in the wall, slipping and sliding, and losing spots all afternoon long. Battle for 4th, J.R. Houston, Zach Lindgren. As Adams has pulled away and Olson has dropped back from this battle.
I apologize, my screen just went completely black there. Been having a few issues tonight, but...
Oh, Houston went to give up the spot. He got the wall in the process, but Zach Lindgren will take the spot and will move up to P4. Houston told him to go by. He got a little too high in turn 1, got the wall. Lindgren still able to take the spot, so move Houston back to 5th and Lindgren up into the 4th spot. I believe in a... Gosh, I hope that's a Johnny Benson throwback to when he drove the 10 Valvoline machine. Or Scott Riggs. I don't think that's old enough to be Mark Martin. One of the Valvoline schemes, I think.
Your guess is as good as mine. Unfortunately, I'm not caught up to my race knowledge on throwback liveries.
We need to invest in media guides for next week. Kyle Smalley, we can get together and work this out for next week.
Yeah, I unfortunately don't know much of my throwbacks, but all I know is that these cars are looking very, very beautiful tonight, minus the one that isn't a throwback on track.
Well, there are a few that aren't throwbacks on the racetrack, and well, we'll call them out as we see them tonight. We already called out the 86 of Colin Fern. Colin Fern, he's back on pit road, actually, in that 86 machine.
I believe he's
I'm not sure what's up with that.
Here.
Well, he pitted under that last caution. right before that last caution and stayed out, got the wave around, and started from the back. So I'm not sure if he bounced it off the wall too many times or what, but he's back on pit road. It's Allison who's got a second, more than the second lead over Bryson Fitzgerald, then Marcus Adams in third, Zach Lindgren fourth, J.R. Houston in the fifth spot as they are on lap number 45 of 120. Allison, your race leader. We're going to go side by side. You won't miss a thing here from Darlington. It's Cal and Allison leading the show here at Darlington.
We've been waiting for this moment. Generations of innovation all coming together in one place. A pedigree of more than 70 years of NASCAR Cup Series history, from the past to the present, from Petty to Earnhardt to Elliott. Today, there's no more waiting. The future of NASCAR is now. Drive the next-gen cars today on iRacing and step into the next generation of racing.
A lot of folks slipping and sliding, tires starting to give way here at Darlington as we are almost 50 laps complete. Battle for second between Bryson Fitzgerald and Marcus Adams. Casey Kane versus Dale Earnhardt Jr. as they come off of turn 4. Fitzgerald gets a little sideways, gives up the spot. Marcus Adams goes back to second.
That was a very nice move there on the front straightaway as he was able to find I believe the side draft here to make the move passable. I'm not too sure if he slowed up on the exit of turn 4. And I believe that's what he was able to get past.
Trouble, front straightaway. Casey Heschel around.
I believe we're
no
still
caution. We stay green. But the 49 machine, similar to what happened to Eric Almirola yesterday, winds up around and with a bit of damage. Not as much as Almirola did yesterday, though.
I believe somebody else.
But still, it's his second accident of the night, so he will fall a lap down. Fitzgerald falls to fourth as Zach Lindgren goes by him, and now here comes J.R. Houston. He has caught Bryson Fitzgerald, so I don't know what's up with Fitzgerald, but his car seems to have fallen off the last 5 laps.
Yeah, and earlier I saw Chris Webb. He just pulled into the grass off of turn 1, just slamming the brakes. I'm unsure what happened to his car, or if he caught apron and was just losing. I'm unsure of what happened to him earlier. But as we look back here at the top 5, Allison still not the fastest lap on track tonight. I believe that is the honor of Fitzgerald here with a 263 as we reach almost the halfway point of our race here, Jacob.
Allison does have the Allison has the fastest lap with a 29.254 skating through everybody. Yeah, he's got the fastest lap just by 100th over Fitzgerald, so they're identical in fastest lap, but not right now. Allison is 0.3 faster than Fitzgerald, and J.R. Houston is also faster than Fitzgerald, and he's looking to try and get by him here through 4.
My apologies, and thank you for the correction there. But I believe 20 here is going to be able to make the pass over. Yeah, he just lets him by. That moves Jr. Houston here up into the 4th and knocks Bryce Prince Gerald back down to 5th as he was able to make the move off of turn 1 here. As they head into the back straightaway, I believe he's going to be able to keep hold of this spot here. Hopefully he doesn't catch the wall here off of turn 4, as we see a lot of drivers, even during our break, they were slamming into that wall. I think they're just applying a little too much gas on their exit.
Calvin Allison with a 2.7 second lead, as right now just looking around for something, anything. Anything interesting going on here? Is that's Kevin Orlando Jr. getting lapped by Marcus Adams, who's in the 2nd spot. Calvin Allison hit the next car he'll lap will be Derek Lemke, with Lucas Strayer right up the road as well.
Yeah, I believe when you
got Nick Olson on pit road in the 24, so I believe this is going to be the start of green flag stops, as Chris Webb has parked the car. He's done for the night in that 68 machine.
Yeah, I believe we're going to see them coming into the pits here this time around. I mean, they have 5 sets of tires, so they're not under desperate need of a tire change at the moment. They probably got at least 5 more laps here off of this set, maybe 4 if they can save it.
Well, they can make it a lot more on fuel, that much I know. Like I said, fuel window's about 50 laps. Robert Rader is on pit road. The leader, Calvin Allison, will stay out for another lap, as we are only 31 laps into this stint. With Allison still out in front, we're closing in on halfway. I don't think by pitting here, though, these guys can make it to the end. They're going to need, if these guys can make it 10 more laps, they might be able to make it to the end. But if we get a caution, that'll change it all.
And as you were talking, the number 86 car gets right into the back of the number 9 car in the middle of turn 1. I'm not too sure what happened there, if number 9 just slowed up a little bit, or if he just was just trying to get around him. I'm not too sure, as lap traffic passes.
Fern is on new tires, and that's probably what caused that. Fern was trying to get by Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald on the older tires, Fern on the newer tires, and that's where the contact was made. Fitzgerald did let him by, though, in turn 4 that next time around, as he's now caught up to J.R. Houston down the back straightaway into 3. Houston bounced it off the wall. That's an easy way to let the 86 of Colin Fern go by.
Yeah, that's just unfortunate.
And J.R. Houston comes over the radio and says, "I'm never changing my line for you again."
Yeah, that can be a bit of a discouragement. But what happened to the 71? As he turns.
Yeah, it's Lemke around again. No caution because he's down off the racing line. And he made some contact with the 46 of Michael Elliott. Elliott bounced off the wall, and nowhere for Lemke to go. This was right in front of the race leader, might I add. But we stayed green because they were out of the racing line, and it really was just a single car incident as Richard Lekowa comes into pit road. Everybody else, for the most part, staying out, at least those up at the front. Brandon Lawless has come in. Kevin Orlando Jr. has come in. Everybody else has stayed out.
Yeah, that 71 car looks a little banged up. I'm not too sure how much of the wall he caught here, but his hood's a little popped up, along with the back end of his car, as well as he scrapes the wall coming out of turn 3, letting the leaders by as they exit turn 4 here tonight. And it's hard to make up room for a lot of these leaders, especially on a track like Darlington. It is going to be just a lot of scrapes, and hopefully they were able to hold it and not cut back down onto the track trying to save their car after bouncing off the wall.
Here comes Fern to the inside of Marcus Adams. He gets by without a problem.
Yeah, we've hit the halfway point of our race here tonight. I believe we've only had the one caution. as they
Robert
come out
Rader,
four.
new fastest lap with a, let me find him on my scoring here, with a lap time of Robert Rader 29.142. That definitely is the fastest lap of the night. Wow, by more than a tenth.
Man, I thought he was honestly going to hit that 28, but 29.142, that's very impressive. Hopefully, he can make up some positions here, unless he is a few laps down. Let me check my score sheet here.
Well,
He is
even
one
if
lap
he is
down.
one down, but that is because he pitted, and he's waiting on everybody else to pit. At this point, though, he will have to pit one more time. Those that are staying out at this point, I believe, are going to try and make it just on this stop and hope we don't see any more cautions the rest of the way.
I hope not either. I mean, we've only had the one, and a lot of the other time, 20 bounces off the wall here, but trying to let the 83 by, they make contact as well. Not a lot of room to give when you're trying to let lap traffic by you here on Darlington. It's just an unfortunate catch-up right there, trying to get him around, but could not find the room to let him by.
Here comes Kevin Orlando Jr. trying to get by the race leader in Calvin Allison. Orlando trying to use the flat. That's not going to work. Allison with the better run on the high side, and he'll hang on for the time being. Still side by side in the one. Allison will pull aside, and Kevin Orlando Jr. will unlap himself. Now Richard Lekawa and Colin Fern are also closing in on Allison, as Orlando Jr. now just 3 laps down.
I'm surprised he was able to unlap himself even with 3 laps down. He's still pushing it as hard as he can. I believe if he crosses his fingers, we might have a caution here. He might be able to unlap himself again, but it's going to be very, very hard to make up a lot of the mistakes here on Darlington tonight as we come around turn 1 here. And I'm very happy for these drivers keeping it as clean as it has tonight. No big ones as of yet, but who knows, commentators curse as they come back down the back stretch here and into turn 3.
Well, and we've seen it before, and we will definitely see it again, where we get a late race restart, and it hits the fan, and 10 cars go crashing and slamming into each other. So it's certainly not out of the realm of possibility for us to see a big one yet. There's still a long way to go, closing in on 50 laps to go, 52 to go right now. So these guys can make it to the end if they pit from here on out.
Yeah, I believe the last time we saw that, when you and I commentated together the last time, was at Talladega, and we saw them get into each other at the very end with a restart. And I believe one of them hit the flag waiver because they helicoptered.
Yeah. Barney the flagman got decapitated. However, they have re-sewn his head back onto his body, and he's back up on top of the flag stand as he was a week ago at Kansas. 3 wide with the leader and 2 lappers. My goodness. Brandon Lawless, Colin Fern, and Calvin Allison. Get out of the way.
My, oh my, 3 wide at Darlington. That is a recipe for disaster. Surprised we did not see an accident there. No yellow, all green as they come onto the front stretch here as we go under 70 of 120.
James Lowe on pit road. I believe this is going to open up the window for those that don't need to pit again here. I have to wait and see.
I'm just trying to keep my eye on our leader here, Calvin Allison, as he's seeing a bunch of traffic here tonight from the field up ahead, trying to get by them, but when they're on fresher tires, you have to let them by. But you know, the big question is, like I've been saying, is like, where is the room to let them go? A lot of these drivers have caught the wall or have bumped into each other trying to let each other by, as the 24 and 28 are side by side coming out of turn 4, and Nick Olson trying to get by Allison here as he lets him by into turn 1 here, as we have 49 laps to go.
That'll put Olson back on the lead lap. with 48 to go. So Nick Olson has unlapped himself after coming in about 16 laps ago for a pit stop, but he's not going to be able to make it the rest of the way. He's going to need a caution or another caution here, and or another pit stop, a caution and or another pit stop for him to really be able to make it to the end. And I would expect everybody else to be on the pit road in the next 5 laps or so, as they are almost 50 laps through these set of tires. Lucas Strayer in the 32, the Ricky Craven throwback with the pink wheels for some reason. He has parked the car for the night, done for the afternoon.
Well, that's unfortunate. I mean, Darlington is, I would say, probably one of the toughest tracks on any schedule of racing, whether it's truck, cup cars, or I don't believe they're going to be taking the... Oh, this 41 gets into the apron here and slides down. I think he's just going in for some hits.
He's coming into pit road, but made a bonsai move to get there. I mean, slipping and sliding down on the flat in turn 3. Remind me when AJ Allmendinger's brakes failed and went sailing off into turn 3 and absolutely murdered Jimmy Johnson and his entire family. I thought we were going to get a repeat of that, but no, the brakes worked just fine on Ramirez's car. He's just coming in for a pit stop.
And that would be a horrible, horrible thing to happen if your brakes failed on Darlington of all places, because you would definitely
be horrible if your brakes fail in iRacing. JR Houston is in, so he's making his last pit stop of the afternoon, and the window's open from here on out.
Yeah, Calvin's still out here. He hasn't hit the pit road just yet. I believe as he comes back around out of turn 4 down on the front stretch, but I believe this lap he'll be coming in as the racers behind him are catching the wall yet again into turn 4 here. Oh, a little slide action from the number 9 car here, but he holds on to it, and we have 44 to go going into turn 1 here.
Yeah, Bryson Fitzgerald's bouncing off the wall in each corner every single lap. Remember, he fell back early on, potentially because he burned up his stuff before that caution came out. Now it's definitely looking like that, as last week's winner seems to be struggling out there thus far. Marcus Adams is on pit road. He's making his last pit stop.
Yeah, I believe that wasn't like an over-exaggeration. He has hit the wall every lap here as he just bangs it off turn 4 yet again. Surprised that he's able to hold on to his 5th spot as Shaw's closing in on him, because I'm sure that right side arrow is just diminished now at this point.
Calvin Allison continues to stay out. Kyle Manger is coming in from the 3rd spot, the 25 machine. Bryson Fitzgerald also making the call to come onto pit road.
Yeah, I believe he's going to be fixing that right side damage here just a little bit, but I don't think he'll be able to get all of it done because he hit that wall really, really hard.
Here comes Calvin Allison as Derek Lemke parks the car. Calvin Allison dirt tracking it on the pit road. He's going to make it, though. So Calvin Allison, your race leader, has come onto pit road. Zach Lindgren will stay out.
I'm surprised he was able to hold on to a dirt car out there. Let's hopefully his crew can get him in and out so he can hold on to his number 1 spot here as we have everybody else just staying out. I believe these cars had pitted earlier and took new tires beforehand as we see them coming roaring around the track here. The 85 car coming out of turn 4.
Dorsey's in. Gavin Hibbs is on pit road, as well as Patrick Green. Jared Wishin will stay out for another lap, as will Ferris Shaw. As looks like most everybody else is staying out for the time being. J.R. Houston snuck onto pit road when I wasn't paying attention, I guess, but he's made his pit stop. And Calvin Allison is making his way out of turn number 2 right now.
Yeah, Zach Lindgren comes into the pits here. Coming out.
But look at the gap here for Allison. As the gap is closer between Allison and Marcus Adams, it's only a second. It was up to 3 seconds when they came on a pit road. So Marcus Adams has made up some ground on Calvin Allison with these green flag stops.
Yeah, I mean, it's really about making those smart moves on Darlington, because like you want to make sure that it's, especially being on the same lap here, that you want to pit at just the right time and maybe hope under a caution to catch a lucky dog, but it's very, very tough here with a lot of these drivers. I'm sure a lot of them having to fix right side damage and rear bumper damage, as before we pitted, a lot of lap traffic was just getting into our race leaders and our top 5, trying to let them by, or we're on new tires just colliding into each other. And as we come down here onto turn 3, Marcus Adams a little bit behind Allison, as it's now a 2.5 as he's trying to catch up the gap here, as it almost hits 2 seconds. I believe Allison's just got the
Caution! Trouble turn 3. I think there was smoke in turn 3. I don't know who it belonged to, though.
I think somebody was
So
coming
the caution's
into the
out.
road.
And that changes everything.
My, oh my. Let's take a look at the replay here, see what
Trying
happened.
to figure out the cause of the
Ooh.
caution.
98.
Who done it?
Well, 98 went down, and he hit the brakes, and as he was braking, slid up and caught the back of 91. I think he was trying to let number 9 by. Oh, he blinked.
He did blink, and he caught Fitzgerald. Anthony Colantuono was running fourth, had yet to pit. Bryson Fitzgerald was faster. He moved over, but because the 98 blinked out of the way, he had nowhere to go, and the 9 ran him over. Wow.
Oh, that's tough.
And that is the caution. Now the top 10 are on the lead lap, including J.R. Houston, who gets the waiver, or who gets the free pass. So it's Ferris Shaw, Jared Wishon, Calvin Allison, Chris Worrell, Robert Rader, Nick Olson, Marcus Adams. Anthony Colantuono has parked the car. J.R. Houston and Jesse Cottrell. Those are the only cars on the lead lap. So now make it 9 on the lead lap. And Ferris Shaw stays out.
Really?
Ferris Shaw has stayed out. I guess he thinks there's going to... Nope, he's coming in this time. I guess he stayed out just to lead lap because he's now on pit road. So that's going to put Jared Wishon... no, he's coming in. So Calvin Allison will cycle around to be the race leader here. And he stays out. Everybody else has come in. Allison is the only one that will stay out. And he is, it's only 5-lap-old tires, 6-lap-old tires, but it's going to make a difference after a while. With Nick Olson behind him, who just made a stop.
Yeah, the scoring is going to be a little bit weird here after that caution. As they
but it looks like we are getting back to normal. In the meantime, while we sort this out, we'll go side by side with 35 laps to go. Calvin Allison, your race leader. We're under caution in the Four Corner Racing League here on STN. We're back after this.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
We're back here at Darlington. Marcus Adams with the great save on the inside as they come off at turn 2. He about scared everybody else behind him, and he scared myself up here in the booth, but we're still rolling. Calvin Allison continues to lead. Nick Olson in second, Chris Worrell in third. Calvin Allison, the only man on the lead lap that did not make a pit stop under that caution, as they're almost 4 wide back behind, way in the back of the field. Michael Dorsey, James Lowe, Richard Lekowa going into turn 1. Dorsey pulls out of it. Lowe gains both spots as, well, this is something.
Oh my, I was surprised he was able to save it there. I thought that we were for sure going to get another caution there off of that restart, but man, what a save. Color me impressed.
Now Nick Olson is fighting for the lead on Calvin Allison. Allison has led almost every single lap tonight. He's definitely led the most of them, as this time around we'll have 30 laps to go.
I believe the drivers are going to get a little bit more aggressive here as time is running out. I believe we're going to see a lot more moves on the inside lines here. And excuse me, I apologize.
Patrick Green I don't know what Patrick Green just did. He just pulled off at the end of the back straightaway, slowed down, and then got back up to speed in the middle of turn 3. So that was interesting. But the battle for the lead continues to heat up. Between Calvin Allison and Nick Olson, it's Ricky Rudd and Jeff Gordon. New fastest lap, it's Nick Olson by 3/100ths of a second. Almost identical that last time around. Each of them running their fastest laps of the race.
Man, I can't believe that they're still getting faster here tonight. Even with 30 to go, they are pushing these cars to their limit. And looking back at the pit stop, I'm just wondering how much damage they were able to repair, especially with the number 9 car, knowing how much he's caught that upper wall off of turn 3 to turn 4 tonight.
Well, Fitzgerald, that car looks like it's at Martinsville, to be completely honest. He's back in the 13th spot. But right now, it's still Calvin Allison out in front, slowly but surely, pulling away again from Nick Olson. Olson on fresher tires than Allison. Allison did not make a pit stop. When the caution came out, his tires were only 5 laps old, so he decided to stay out, expecting we'd get another caution. Right now, we're still caution-free on this run.
Well, let's hope we can keep it that way, but I'm not too sure how long it's going to stay that way. Probably 10 left to go is when we'll start seeing a lot more hyper-aggressive moves here tonight, as he's been running the track very, very well tonight, our race leader, the 28 car, as he's trying to hold off, I believe that is the 24 car behind him. I apologize, my setup's not working.
Allison is holding off Olson, yes.
Thank you.
Third place, Chris Worrell, who's gone from the back to the front to the back to the front and is now in the 3rd spot, pretty much in the role of Dave Blaney, with Nick Olson and Calvin Allison playing Kurt Busch and Ricky Craven right now. He's just kind of lurking back there. He's slower than both the 2 leaders right now, but it looks like he may get a solid top 5 finish out of this deal.
Yeah, I mean, as long as he can just hold it clean and not smack the walls at turn 3 and turn 4, he'll be able to hold on tonight and walk away with a podium finish if he could just hold it here tonight.
Speaking of holding it, Nick Olson just bounced it off the outside wall. He's going to lose a couple of tenths on Allison down the back straightaway. So push Nick Olson back in that battle for the lead as Allison's now opened that gap up to almost a second. Again, remember, Olson is on the fresher tires between the two of them. Let's go back to the battle for fifth between Jared Wishon and Marcus Adams down the front straightaway.
Oh, I believe they caught a little bit of contact here as I saw them swaying back and forth. I'm not too sure if he was trying to hold it, if he just caught the back end of his car here. As the 31 and 45 are having a nice battle with 31 going on the inside. No, 45 was able to keep that line clear as they head into turn 3. I believe the 31 is looking for that inside move again, but I don't think he's got the speed to make it, or he's going to be proving me wrong.
Got a good shot. Got a good shot. J.R. Houston looking back behind him as well, giving the 31 a little bit of help down the front straight away, heading in for turn number 1. The 31 will make it there. The 45 gives him the room. So Marcus Adams into the top 5. Jared Wishon in 6th, and J.R. Houston in 7th.
And that was a nice move on the inside there by the 31 car. I believe, like you said, Choi was giving him a little bit of help so they could move past into turn 1. And I'm glad he was able to keep it clean at the top when he was going back to the top of turn 1 and back down to turn 2, because the sliding here at Darlington, it is very prone to happening, especially when your tires get older here. I mean, just the smallest overstep in the gas pedal will cause you to hit that wall and cause a smoke screen behind you.
"21 laps to go this time around, as everything has pretty much calmed down for the most part around the racetrack."
Oh, what happened?
Trouble turn 2, Michael Elliott. No, not Michael Elliott. How about Keith Smalley, the 2? If I can find him. He's coming onto pit road right now. And looking back. Ooh, got the outside wall off of 2 and then spun down into the inside wall. Bounced it off the inside wall. New cars were coming though, so we stay green for the time being.
Yeah, I believe he's probably going to put the car away after that. Depending on how hard he hit both those walls, I don't think he's going to have time to get his car fixed and back out there. Because
how about lap traffic for the race leader, Calvin Allison, trying to get by Casey Heschel and Colin Fern here down the front straightaway. Nick Olson has closed in the gap because of this lap traffic. Got to be careful.
Yeah, I mean, there's just no room to give anybody, especially with your lap traffic. Oh, he's caught him swaying.
Colin Fern should be thrown back to Ryan Newman because he's doing a great job of acting like him tonight. As now he pulls over for Olson, but he didn't really pull over for Allison. The gap is down to 0.4 of a second as we're coming to 18 laps to go.
Yeah, he was swaying a little bit coming out of turn 1 there. I'm not sure if he hit the wall or just lost it a little bit coming out of 2, as he didn't want to give him room, like you pointed out earlier.
Olson still about a 10th faster a lap than Allison right now. We'll see what it is coming around this time with 17 laps to go. Trying to close it in and get a win here tonight at Darlington. But Calvin Allison certainly has been the class of the field, as that last time around, Allison was 0.2 faster than Olson.
And he caught the wall there. Olson caught the top of the wall on the turn 1 there, as I believe that's going to give Worrell the room to get behind him. I think he's going to make the move here on the turn 3. There he goes. Will he have the speed? Yes, he does.
Olson with the better run on the high side. He blinked there for a second, but he'll hang on to the second spot for the time being. Worrell in the third spot. He'll try again in turn 1 as Olson slides it in. Again, remember, Olson is on fresher tires as he spins.
Oh.
Hangs onto the race car, but Chris Worrell will take second spot. Nick Olson pitted for tires under the last caution flag, and the tires are absolutely gone on that 24. He couldn't catch up with the 28 of Calvin Allison, who's on older tires. Chris Worrell just blew by him like he was chained to a tree after he almost spun it out in turn 1, and now he's got company in the rearview mirror with Robert Rader, Marcus Adams, Jared Wishon, and J.R. Houston down the main straightaway.
Yeah, the deeper we get into this track, the slicker it's going to get, and those tires are definitely gone now, as I'm sure the rest of the pack will be able to close the gap here and move on past him, as he's got about 5-6
Trouble. Zach Lindgren around on the back straightaway, and the caution's out. Zach Lindgren got turned around on the back straightaway, battling for the 8th spot, and Zach Lindgren with Colin Fern. Another accident with Colin Fern. This time, Lindgren came up, wasn't clear, nowhere to go, and Lindgren gets turned around and we get a caution. And that means we'll get another restart. So the Scott Riggs or Johnny Benson throwback, the Valvoline throwback, winds up around on the back straightaway, and we get to do this song and dance again inside 15 laps to go. Oh boy.
Man, this is going to be a very interesting restart, especially with so little of the race left to go here. And I'm sure the leaders ahead are a little bit unhappy about the caution happening right now, as it's going to be, I would say, influencing a lot more aggressive decisions as all of them but 3 cars come into the pits right here. Jacob, tell me, who do we got down there?
Everybody that's on the lead lap is on pit road right now. The only people that are staying out are people that are not on the lead lap. So we'll see how things play out when they get off of pit road. But I mean, everybody is on pit road. For most of these guys, they still have at least one more set left. Others have 2. Guys like Robert Rader, J.R. Houston, Marcus Adams, they will have just 1 set left. But for everybody else, they will have 2 sets left, so they could come down and get tires again if they wanted. I think Nick Olson got back out in the 2nd spot ahead of Chris Worrell for 3rd, then Robert Rader 4th, Marcus Adams 5th, Jared Wishon 6th, J.R. Houston 7th. It's going to be Jesse Cottrell in 8th, Ferris Shaw in 9th, and Kyle Manger, Bolts Ramirez in the 10th spot.
And I can't wait to see how this restart plays out. Hopefully they don't go 3 wide like they did with the trucks 4 nights ago, which knocked out about half the field. I don't
see anything wrong with that.
Oh yeah, there's nothing wrong with going 3 wide. It's just the execution and hoping you pull it off. Because when they did that, somebody could find their brakes and smash into all the leaders except for the 2nd and 1st spots. It was chaos.
All right, so what's coming up here on the schedule for STN? FTF1 rounds 4 and 5 from Hockenheim. That is on Friday, May 14th at 9 o'clock Eastern. That's FTF1 rounds 4 and 5 from Hockenheim. Then on Saturday, FTF Grand National Series presented by Barn Visuals from Dover International Speedway. Saturday, May 15th, 10 o'clock. Then a week from tonight, we are back with Four Corners Racing League, this time at Dover, Delaware. With another race Monday, May 17th, 8:20 p.m. Eastern. And then next Thursday, of course, the NASCAR Road Pro Qualifying iRacing Series. We'll have the 2nd split for you from Charlotte Motor Speedway. As after that, only 2 more races left in the NASCAR Road Pro Qualifying iRacing Series first round. Zach Lindgren given an EOL penalty for that crash. So he will start at the back of the grid for the restart.
Yeah, that's just unfortunate. I'm not too sure that there was anywhere else he could have gone, but you gotta take him as you're giving him.
1 lap to green. The wave around cars go by the pace car, and the field will double up. Calvin Allison and Nick Olson on the front row for the restart.
Yeah, I believe we're going to have a more aggressive race here, as we will have 10 to go once the pace car comes in and these drivers are sent loose. But I'm impressed. We've only had 3 cautions tonight and only 11 caution laps. I'm glad that these drivers were able to keep it relatively clean and not wreck each other out tonight. But that 3rd and 4th turn wall took a lot of people's paints tonight.
Pace car makes the hard left turn. We have 10 to go on the restart. Calvin Allison on the gas. He is gone, and Nick Olson spins the tires. They're almost crashing as Robert Rader bounces off the wall. 3 wide per second for a moment as they head down the front straightaway. Everybody slicing and dicing. Kyle Major up the middle. I don't know how this is going to work, and it's not. Chris Worrell on the wall. Jared Wishon in the wall. We stay green. As Wishon hangs onto the car. Now the caution's out. Gavin Hibbs is sideways. Jesse Cottrell into the inside wall. It is a parking lot coming off of turn 2. My gosh.
Well, they did what the trucks did, that's for sure.
Except it took them half a lap to crash instead of the front straightaway. My goodness.
And as soon as I saw him going 3 wide, I just thought to myself, here we go. It's the big one. It's gonna happen.
Here's the replay, and everybody gets stacked up with Olson hitting the wall. Chris Worrell spun the tires from the second spot, and they were all fine until they got to the middle of turn 1 and 2. And then Worrell and Wishon make contact. Robert Rader has to go onto the flat. Gavin Hibbs gets out of the gas and gets sideways as the caution comes out. Same thing with Jesse Cottrell, who then bounces it hard off the inside wall and lost the front clip of that UPS Dale Jarrett throwback. And I'm sure he's on Code Brown right now. What can Brown do for you? Well, he just found out. Oh, hard hit.
That is, gonna have to run a concussion test on him.
Cottrell will come onto pit road, as will about half a dozen others, Wishon included. Colin Fern is on pit road. No, I lied about the half dozen part. It's only about 4 cars that come onto pit road here. But Calvin Allison remains your leader. Then it's Nick Olson, Marcus Adams, J.R. Houston, and Robert Rader, your top 5. Nick Olson has damage to the back end of that 24 machine. As here's an onboard view. This is with the 95 of Gavin Hibbs. Dirt tracking it on the flat, and the caution comes out. He lifts, and around he goes.
That was a nice, impressive drift, though. I'm surprised the number 6 car didn't catch full air and start flipping. I mean, we saw his right side going up, but thank goodness that he wasn't on his roof tonight.
Well, Chris Overland got space forced in the Road to Pro Second split race on Thursday that we covered on the last lap. Sent it in on Blake McCandless. Was not clear, right up in the wall, and got caught in the wall and got sent to the moon in turn 1. So it wouldn't be the first time that I've seen somebody get launched in a turn 1 accident. As the field is still under caution, we do not get one to green. Should come next time around with Calvin Allison still out in front.
Yeah, I've only seen people get launched to space once, commentating with you, Jacob, and again, that was at Talladega. Poor Gary. Hope those stitches hold together for him tonight, because he is going to be bringing out the checker flag here in about 8 laps. Or Barney, wow. You know, they kind of just blend together, though.
Well, they were talking about a couple weeks ago on what the name of the pace car driver is. Maybe you just named him. Maybe it's Gary the pace car driver and Barney the flagman.
Who knows? I believe that
a snail driving a pace car and a purple dinosaur waving the flags. I like where this is going.
I think it could work. I believe we'll be going 1 to green here this time by. Should see the lights off that pace car turn off here. And there we are. 1 to green.
We are only 1 lap to green. We're going to get a restart with 5 laps to go.
Fingers crossed. Hopefully these drivers can keep it clean and we don't go into overtime, as our 3rd position driver here just goes into the apron. Not sure what happened there, but he falls back in the line. And I don't think we're going to be going into overtime. I mean, yeah, I mean, we only will have 5 laps to go. Once they come back around.
We have 3 attempts at a green-white checker in case we need them. I have a feeling we will because it's Darlington. But here we go. It's that'd be the 3rd race in a row, I believe, that we wind up needing a green-white checker. I know we needed it last week at Kansas, and I believe 2 weeks ago at Talladega. As here's Calvin Allison bunching the field up, and now he's on the gas. Green flag.
And off they go. Let's take a look at the field. I don't see anybody going 3 wide or trying to make the move just yet as they come into turn 1.
Oh, Gavin Hibbs, Ferris Shaw making contact. Everybody good. Stacking up behind Bolts Ramirez. Chris Worrell gets turned. Ferris Shaw into the outside wall hard. Big crash off of turn 2. Caution's out. Huge crash. Michael Anthony, Worrell. James Lowe is around. Brandon Lawless, another car stopped up against the outside wall. That's Ferris Shaw. And a huge accident off of quarter number 2 is probably going to put us in the face of overtime.
My, oh my, that is extremely unfortunate.
Replay. It's going to be with the 6th car. He gets hit from behind. Gets hit from the side by Bolts Ramirez and turns the 84 head on into the outside wall. Bryson Fitzgerald got a piece of that. Bolts Ramirez involved. Kevin Orlando Jr. with the slide. Jared Wishon gets collected. Michael Anthony in the 8. Here's another angle. Ugh.
Man.
Hard crash. Brandon Lawless into the inside wall. Worrell back into the inside wall. James Lowe gets a piece right at the end.
I believe that's a quarter of our field right there that'll be parking their car for the rest of the night. I believe the 41 was coming up and the 6 was just coming down. They caught each other and he just spins out the 84 car and there's 9. He gets caught up in it as well. Man, what a heavy hit and a big crash.
So, for the most part, everybody that was involved in the crash has pitted. Everybody else has stayed out. Calvin Allison continues to lead, and I think he may be the luckiest man in town because the more they have to keep doing restarts, the longer he gets to stay out in front. Here's an onboard view with the 4-1 of Bolts Ramirez.
Yeah, there's just no room. Like I said, D was going down and 41 was checking up, and man. The number 9 car didn't get hit too bad. He got through the rest of the field practically unscathed, but he did catch a little bit of damage. But the rest of his car looks all right. Don't think he's got any internal, probably just mostly cosmetic here as they come out of turn 4 and on the front stretch under caution. And we are going to have 5 to go, I believe, Jacob?
Well, we have overtime. That's what we have. We're going to go 3 over, 2 over. Math. 3 over, I believe. So we have 4 to go right now. We'll get 1 to go this time around. And then we'll go green on lap 121. So as of now, we will go 3 over. We have 3 attempts at a green-white checker if we need it. On that 3rd attempt, it's game on.
I have a feeling we'll be burning through all of our overtime attempts tonight. Because like you said, it's Darlington. Surprised a lot of our field that was caught up in that accident have decided just to stay out and race it out for the time being.
At this point, smart decision.
Yeah, if your car is running and your engine's not blown, might as well stay in. Or stay out, excuse me.
Because you never know who's going to want it up here on this next restart and gain you some more spots.
That is true, that is true. Well, At least it's not Dirt Bristol.
Who's your pick to win?
My pick to win, definitely going to be the 28 car here tonight. I believe he's going to be able to stay lucky and not get caught up in any of these crashes here tonight. And he was running it pretty well, too. He was getting faster and faster. Didn't he, I believe, at 2 points, had the fastest lap? Just only got beat once. I believe it was by like 0.3 of a second.
Well, you take Calvin Allison, I'll take the field. Here we go. Through 3 and 4. Allison probably going to bunch them up here again and then take off. Pace cars in. Green flag. Overtime in the Four Corner Racing League here at Talladega. And Calvin Allison already with a 5-car length lead headed for turn 1. Oh, and J.R. Houston and Nick Olsen slam into the wall in turn 1. That holds up everybody behind him. Gavin Hibbs gets turned around. He's going to get collected. Another crash off of turn 2. Bryson Fitzgerald around. Cottrell on the wall again. They're still crashing down the back straightaway. Patrick Green. Zach Lindgren was where it all started, and we have overtime number 2.
Yeah, we could put a fat red X over the first attempt.
It was, Hibbs caught the wall and then came down into Lindgren, and that's where this all started. Here's the replay. You can see everybody gets bottled up. Hibbs in the wall, gets turned by Lindgren. Marcus Adams slides through there somehow. Bryson Fitzgerald could not. Jesse Cottrell nowhere to go. He comes back down into Patrick Green. A hard hit there. Bryson Fitzgerald has gotten bullied out on the racetrack tonight.
And he has been caught up in both of these big ones here.
And a couple of other smacks to the inside or to the outside wall. Here's another angle back where this started, with the 95 getting loose up into the wall and the 85 stuck in the middle 3 wide, nowhere to go but into the back of the 95 and turning the Stanton Barrett throwback machine around. Lindgren involved in yet another one. Same with Cottrell, another hard hit. Patrick Green came piling in there like a wrecking ball down the back straightaway, nowhere for him to go. And another big crash as we go on board with Bolts Ramirez to put us into the second overtime.
Yeah, I'm still believing that we're gonna burn through all of our overtime attempts here tonight.
Well, if they keep doing that, there's no doubt.
Yeah, I believe we'll be burning it through. We'll be going through all 3 attempts tonight. I just don't see it not happening.
So we're back under caution. Gavin Hibbs given an EOL penalty here. A lot of these race cars looking like they were running Martinsville with the front clips and the back ends all gone. J.R. Houston put Nick Olsen up in the wall and is now in the second spot. So it is Allison, then Houston, then Rader, then Olsen, then Manger. That's your top 5 now.
Man, you better believe he's happy with that if he's able to move up to the second spot here. As I believe we will be going 1 to go maybe this time by? Yes, we will.
Nope, 2 to go this time
2
around.
to go. My apologies. Hard for me to see the lights sometimes. The sun here at Darlington's got this huge glare on the pace car. I didn't hear your pick to win, though, Jacob. You asked me mine, or I might have just missed it.
I picked the field.
Oh, you picked the field.
You pick Calvin Allison, I'll pick everybody else, and we'll see what happens. Because here's the thing. If it's not going to be Calvin Allison, it is going to be a scrap to get to the lead because he's had a vice grip on the lead the whole night long. If anybody else can get Calvin Allison booted out of the way for the lead, it's going to be a free-for-all.
That is true. I'm not too sure where I saw it, but another league was running Darlington, and the leader ended up finishing backwards because they got into a little bit of a wreck at the end there, so maybe we could see the same here.
That sounds like a race from the Xfinity series about a dozen years ago, the race they had after Craven got him here at this very racetrack with Jimmy Spencer and Jamie McMurray.
Yeah, I saw the photo on my timeline, and he was backwards, 2 cars behind him, and you could see in the corner of the photo somebody was on their roof. As we come around turn 2 and on the back stretch, still under caution with 1. This will be our 1 to go here as we
Somebody needs to tell that pace car driver to hurry the heck up. My gosh.
Maybe he's nervous. Maybe he's
speed up these pace laps. My goodness.
Well, you don't want to be the pace car that spins out on Darlington, so he's going to take his
Got
sweet,
grandma
sweet
out
time.
there in the slow lane. Here we go through 3 and 4. Pace car is going to come in again. We're going to try this again. Overtime part 2. Calvin Allison has picked the outside line on the restart. J.R. Houston down low. This is going to be good. Nick Olson right on the back bumper of Calvin Allison. Down the main straight. Green flag. J.R. Houston with an awful start on the bottom. He spins the tires down there. Another great start from Calvin Allison. They're bunched up 2 and 3 wide back behind him. Olson takes second as they go to turn 1. And Robert Rader's in the wall. Look out, everybody. Hands on for now. My goodness. I think they might be able to do it.
Nope.
Yeah, iRacing just had a big stroke and we got trouble. Bryson Fitzgerald around. There is no caution. Now it's out. Third attempt at a green-white checker coming up, and it's going to be because of Bryson Fitzgerald.
But
iRacing threw everybody into the wall and upside down for me for a moment, and then it was Bolts Ramirez that was involved in this one, as well as Lindgren. These 3 guys, I think, have been around every wreck. Watch right here. 41 gets loose, runs into the back of the 9 and the 85. Nowhere to go, gets turned at the last second. And Bryson Fitzgerald, again, slams into the inside wall. And we have our final overtime.
Yep, put another fat X. I knew it was going to happen. I knew we were going to burn through all of our restarts here tonight. Man, just as you said, as we were clear to go, unfortunate accident happens. Commentator's curse, my friend.
On the bright side, this is the last restart we have to offer. After this, they just keep on running it, I think. I don't think they're going to finish it under caution. They're just going to let it roll.
Oh no, let me get my coin flip here to see if we'll have one last big one on this 3rd restart attempt. What does my coin say? She says yes. She says there'll be one more big crash.
We've had only a few cautions, and by a few, I mean 7.
I mean, we did have 4.
So,
we had 4, 3.
We're going to go side by side for this last restart. And we will be back in time for the last restart this time around. We're back after this.
Yeah, if the pace car driver keeps driving like this.
We've been waiting for this moment. Generations of innovation all coming together in one place. The pedigree of more than 70 years of NASCAR Cup Series history. From the past to the present. From Petty to Earnhardt to Elliott. Today, there's no more waiting. The future of NASCAR is now. Drive the next-gen cars today on iRacing and step into the next generation of racing.
Well, Darlington has certainly provided an interesting afternoon and night of racing. 7 cautions. We're in our third and final overtime, and Calvin Allison is trying to put the final the nail in the final coffin of the Four Corners Racing League's drivers of upsetting Calvin Allison and getting the win at Darlington Raceway. Yes, you're welcome for the Marty Reed quote. Man, Calvin Allison, he's been the star of the field all afternoon long. And barring him getting wrecked, I think he's going to win this race here, Hex.
Yeah, I believe you're right, Jacob. It has been a very, very interesting night here as as Gary and Barry are out here tonight, have been doing a great job keeping things clean, but the pace car driver needs to find his gas pedal. There he goes as he comes in, and
here we go, green flag. Allison's on the loud pedal. 2 laps to go. Nick Olson spins the tires again. He gets turned. He's going to take out the 86 of Colin Firm back into the track. Big crash at the start-finish line. But this is our last overtime. The caution's out. The caution's out, and Calvin Allison's going to go to victory lane at Darlington. A big crash on the front straightaway that started with Nick Olson getting turned around and everybody else piloting it on in. The 86 came back up across the track, and that'll do it. Calvin Allison is going to win at Darlington under caution.
The coin doesn't lie, Jacob. She said that we were going to have another big one, and there it is. Didn't even get across the checkered flag before it happened, not even into turn 1. But congratulations to our race winner tonight. They're driving it very, very well. We're able to keep it off the wall.
One lap to go. White flag is out. Calvin Allison trying to catch up to the pace car as it's on the back straightaway. Right now, your top 5 looks like this: Calvin Allison, J.R. Houston, Robert Rader, Marcus Adams, Kyle Manger. Then Michael Dorsey, James Lowe, Michael Anthony, Chris Worrell, Gavin Hibbs will run through the lineup here at the flag. But Calvin Allison just survives and is going to dominate. And he is going to win here at Darlington. We will hear from everybody, at least the top 3, once this thing is said and done. But off of 4, coming to the checkered flag, Calvin Allison wins at Darlington.
Congratulations to him. Man, oh man, Lady in Black taking cars yet again. It doesn't matter what the series is.
Let's go back and take a look at the crash on the restart. Nick Olson spins the tires yet again, gets into the outside wall. Kyle Manger turns him down into Colin Fern, and Fern gets turned back up in the track into Wishin and everybody behind him.
Yeah, as you were calling out.
Completely blocks the track.
Yeah, I mean, you were calling out every restart of him spinning his wheels, and the third and final time, the iRacing god said no more.
And even Zach Lindgren couldn't even make it through that one. Like a heat-seeking missile straight to the back of the 24. Same with the 41 of Bolts Ramirez. He took a hellacious shot to the inside wall, and he was the last car in the grid. Look at this. Labonte throwback. Big crash. There you see the 24, the 45, everybody piling it on in. You're going to see the 41 come flying in here at the bottom of your screen. Maybe. James Cato gets involved in it. There's the 41. Oh, turn to heck. He bounces off the 2 of Keith Smalley. Let's go on board with Betty Crocker Cheerios car. And
boom.
Where did he think he was going? Oh my gosh.
Well, sometimes you just redirect wrong, and next thing you know, your hood and front all gone.
By that point, the caution was not out. Getting every point you can, getting every spot you can. Caution got thrown shortly thereafter, but it's let's run through our finishing results. Unofficial results: Calvin Allison with the win, J.R. Houston in second, Robert Rader third, Marcus Adams fourth, Kyle Manger fifth, Michael Dorsey sixth, James Lowe seventh, Michael Anthony in eighth, Chris Worrell rebounds for a top 10 finish, Gavin Hibbs rounds out the top 10 here, Hex.
And then we got Casey Heschel in 11th, Brennan Lawless in 12th, and then we got Bryce Fitzgerald in 13th, 14th Patrick Green, 15th Ferris Shaw, 16th Jared Wishin, 17th, Nick Olson. 18th, Zach Lindgren. 19th, Bolts Ramirez. And at 20th, we got Colin Ferns, and I'll round to 20 here. And then we got, 21, Richard
Lakawa there in
Lakawa.
21st. Kevin Orlando Jr. 22nd. James Cato 23rd. Jesse Cottrell 24th. 12 laps down. 25th, Keith Smalley. 26th, Anthony Colantuono. 27th, Michael Elliott. 28th, Derek Lemke. Lucas Strayer finishes 29th. And Chris Webb rounds out the field in 30th, 80 laps down. Let's talk to our race winner, Calvin Allison, in the Ricky Run throwback machine. Calvin Allison gets the job done. You were so close to winning last week at Kansas. You had a vice grips on the entire field here tonight. Take us through those last couple restarts, because I'm sure they weren't easy to stay up at the front.
I was having a talk with the team about how the race had took exactly an hour until we got 3 green, white checkers and it had extra 20 minutes to the race. So I was ready to be done with it and try not to wreck everybody by spinning tires as hot as they had gotten on all the restarts.
Well, you didn't spin your tires, but everybody else behind you did on every single one of those restarts. With pit strategy, because there was a point with that really long green flag run that we had up until the cautions breed cautions moment, where you decided to stay out, wait until we got inside 50 laps to go. That's when you decided to come onto pit road, when you had guys like Nick Olson who came in as soon as the window opened, really, even though they would still probably have to pit again before the end of the race. That kind of brought Olson up to the front. The cautions kind of nullified that strategy there in the end. But what was your game plan if we were to stay green?
I honestly just wanted to go till 40 to go, I believe, and then pit, which is what I did, because I think the fall off was about 2 seconds, and once you get to running 31.5 lap times, it just stabilizes. So that's all I was aiming for, and unfortunately that caution come out of the race would have been over way sooner than it should have been.
And before we send you on your way here to celebrate, anybody you want to thank, say hi to?
Yeah, I got to thank the Misfit Mafia. Bolts Ramirez, he sponsored this race, and he painted, I believe, every one of our team's cars except for JR. So he's a great painter. I think he paints for SHR in real life. So that shows what kind of work he does. And big thanks to Plan B for also sponsoring this. I think the code's FCRL. You get, I think, free shipping. I'm not sure. It's been a while since I've got to do an interview. And thank you guys for broadcasting these. I enjoy going back and watching them.
Well, congratulations on the win here at Darlington, and we will see you next week from Dover, Delaware. Congratulations again, and best of luck.
Thanks, guys.
Calvin Allison, winner here at Darlington. We'll bring up second place J.R. Houston, who's with Hex Valentine.
Hey, JR, how you feeling tonight?
Feeling pretty good. Pretty happy with that one.
Yeah, I mean, a bit of a dramatic finish. 3 restart attempts. None of them worked, as we all had 3 big crashes. With how difficult Darlington is, what would you say your guys' race plan tonight was?
I mean, honestly, all week I just knew it was going to have to be stay out of trouble. I didn't actually expect the long runs that we had. That was a pleasant surprise. But it was good because I was decent at saving my tires, and then track position was everything at the end. Keeping the track position and then having my teammate to work with, leading the race obviously was a benefit. And then just staying out of wrecks and trying not to hit anything. I got into Nick. I want to apologize to him on the one restart. Put him up in the wall. I just got tighter than I was expecting, and second race that I finished second on the broadcast. So maybe the broadcaster's curse is over. Let's hope.
Well, let's hope. Let's hope you didn't just curse yourself there, JR. Now, what would you say being the most difficult part of the track? We saw a lot of drivers getting into the 3rd and 4th turn tonight. What about you? What would you say was the hardest thing about Darlington, other than avoiding the wrecks on the restarts here to end it?
Midway through the first run, I found myself just kind of charging a little hard and getting into the fence in 3 and 4, and it wasn't too much. And then I had a guy on tires come up on me, and I was looking at my rear view, and I got into 3 and 4 again. But I really didn't feel like 3 and 4 was harder for me. My biggest issue was getting into turn one. The track's just so wide on entry there, and you can kind of take a couple different lanes depending on what you do with your feet. And that's where I struggled the most. That's where I was getting beat all night, even though I did find myself getting into the wall in 3 and 4.
Yeah, trying to find that diamond pattern into turn one where you look for the hashes and then you go about maybe 5/7 on the throttle, go back up, and then once you get past that Darlington logo, just full gas it on the way down. But Junior, congratulations on your second place finish here tonight on the Lady in Black Darlington. Is there anybody you wanted to thank here?
Yeah, absolutely. Got to thank Bolts Designs for sponsoring the race. He runs our league, Bolts Ramirez, and he put on a bunch of cool paint schemes out there, had paint schemes out there on Sunday too. Really proud of everything that he's been able to do and really happy to have him on board. Got to thank the Misfit Mafia, finished 1-2. Pretty awesome to do that. I think that's the first time we've done that in this league. So, and then obviously got to thank Circle B Diecast. Make sure you use promo code FCRL 2021 to get free shipping over there. And hopefully we can have a great race next week.
Oh yeah, I'm sure with you and your teammate finishing first and second, I'm sure those points on the board are going to look very, very nice. Well, congratulations to you, JR, and best of luck to you on the next track.
Yeah, thank you guys for broadcasting, and I think we'll see you next week.
Maybe, if I'm here.
10-4.
J.R. Houston, second place finisher here at Darlington. And finally, third place finisher, Robert Raider. Robert, you survived. Let's start there. You had 3 wild restarts right in front of you, basically, with people spinning their tires on every single one and people crashing every which way. You were able to bring it home in third, though, perhaps thanks to the caution, but still, you had a fast race car all night long.
The Chapman Environmental Services Ford Mustang was reasonably fast, if not terribly loose, the entire race. They kept on wrecking in front of us there. We just kept finding a way around it. But I feel like I probably owe somebody a few bucks for the seat. It was a wild one.
I want to talk about your throwback scheme because I was trying to figure out, this is 2007 Sterling Marlin. Am I in the ballpark here?
That is correct.
So what is what's the inspiration behind your the scheme that you threw back to here tonight?
Well, I grew up in Tennessee. Had a friend of mine who was good friends with Sterling. Always had a lot of respect for that guy. Looked up to him growing up a bit. So I really liked that. And then this was originally a car that had waste management on it, which isn't terribly different than the type of services that Chapman Environmental Services do. Probably better and cheaper too. So we figured we'd stick with the theme and put them on the car for it.
And before we send you on your way, anybody you want to thank, say hi to?
Well, you got to thank Bolts Designs, for sponsoring the race. Really appreciate that. And then, of course, I'm sure we all sound like a broken record, but you got to make sure that with Circle B Diecast, you use that promo code FCRL 2021 in order to get free shipping on any orders, $20 or more. But other than that, I had a whole list of grievances that I've been waiting for an interview to air out. How much time do you guys have?
Depends on how long the list is, I assume.
We'll save it for another time. I appreciate you guys.
Well, congratulations on the top 3 finish, and we will see you next week at Dover.
Thank you.
Robert Raider, third place finisher here at Darlington. Final thoughts here, Hex?
Well, I thought we were going to have a lot more yellow flags during the mid run of the race here, not waste all of our cautions with all of our restarts, but I gotta say, other than a few dents in the wall on the turn 3 and 4, I believe these drivers drove a very, very good race here tonight, and I'm very excited to see what they do the next time that they are out. I believe I'm having a hard bit of a time. I can't remember when their COTA schedule is for that race, but unfortunately, that one won't be broadcasted, but I hope they have a good time out there.
Well, upcoming here on STN, Friday we have FTF1 rounds 4 and 5 from Hockenheim. No commentary for that, just the broadcast. That's Friday at 9 p.m. Then Saturday, FTF Grand National Series presented by Bar Visuals from Dover International Speedway. That's at 10 o'clock. And then a week from tonight, Four Corners Racing League from Dover, Delaware, at just past 8:15 Eastern Time, plus the second round of the eNASCAR qualifying iRacing series from Charlotte next Thursday at 9 o'clock Eastern. And don't forget, you can use promo code FCRL2021 on Circle B Diecast for all shipping on all orders, or free shipping on all orders over $20. Again, that's Circle B Diecast. Use the promo code FCRL2021. And that wraps up our broadcast here from Darlington Raceway for tonight. For Zach Johnson, our producer, and Hicks Valentine, I'm Jacob Pitts. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you Friday night for FTF1, and we'll be back in a week from tonight with FCRL from Dover. Thanks again, everybody, and we will see you next time. Take care and good night.
Good night, everybody.